In the heart of the city, sometimes the most unexpected conversations lead to the greatest insights. Meet Lisa and Mark, two friends from different worlds, coming together for coffee and a good conversation.
You know, Mark, I've been thinking a lot about creativity and how it's often misunderstood.
People think it's something that just happens, like a sudden spark. But for me, it's more about structure and discipline.
You know, Mark, I've been thinking a lot about creativity and how it's often misunderstood. People think it's something that just happens like a sudden spark. But for me, it's more about structure and discipline.
I get that. It's funny because in business, people think success is all about rigid plans and numbers. But honestly, it's just as much about flexibility and adapting to new ideas, just like in creativity.
On one side, Lisa is in her design studio, working on a new project. She carefully sketches and revises her designs, adding details and experimenting with colors. On the other side, Mark is in a conference room, giving a presentation to a group of colleagues, adjusting his strategy as questions arise. Lisa's creativity flows through structure, each line and color carefully chosen to bring an idea to life. Meanwhile, Mark's business acumen thrives on adaptability, steering plans based on the ever-changing needs of the market.
Back at the coffee shop, Lisa takes a thoughtful sip of her drink. You know, I've realized that creativity and business aren't as different as people think. Both need a mix of structure and freedom. For me, it's about finding that balance. What about you?
Exactly. It's like making coffee. There's a method, but the best brews come from experimentation. Sometimes, you have to step outside the process to create something truly great.
Here are your fresh cups of coffee.
As Lisa and Mark continue their conversation, their expressions reveal a mix of thoughtfulness, curiosity, and occasional amusement.
That's a great analogy. And honestly, when I stop worrying about whether an idea will work and just go for it, that's when the best designs happen. But I also know when to reel it back in and refine it. It's like structured chaos.
Exactly. In business, we call that innovation. You can't be afraid to disrupt the usual way of doing things. But at the same time, you have to keep an eye on what's practical. The sweet spot is when creativity meets strategy.
You know, Mark, it's fascinating how creativity can transform even the most mundane tasks into something extraordinary.
And what's interesting is how strategy can provide a solid foundation for that creativity to flourish. Absolutely, Lisa.
In the background. And that's why I believe traveling opens up so many new perspectives.
In the background. Yeah, it's like seeing the world through a new lens every time.
The coffee shop is getting busier, but it feels like we're in our own little bubble of ideas.
That's the beauty of engaging conversations. They create their own space.
The world is full of different perspectives, each as valuable as the other. Lisa sees the world through the lens of creativity, while Mark views it through the filter of strategy. Yet, in this conversation, they both realize that the key to success, whether in art or business, is balance. As the camera pans to the window, sunlight streams into the coffee shop. Lisa and Mark finish their conversation with a sense of satisfaction, their ideas having grown from the exchange.
I think what we're really talking about here is the power of collaboration. When creativity and strategy come together, that's when the magic happens.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Here's to more conversations like this, and to always staying curious.
Clinking coffee cups.
Smiling.
Sometimes, the best ideas come not from solitude, but from the exchange of perspectives. So, take a moment to have that conversation, sip that coffee and explore new ideas.